Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Disco Kitty, the Crappy Crafter. Today we're going to do 2 blind Pinterest challenges where I go on Pinterest and I find an interesting project to do and then I don't look up the instructions and I just do it the way I want to. These should be really simple. One of them, we're going to use all of these little things here. And we're going to make some sun catchers with some hot glue. Hopefully my hot glue is clear enough. We'll see. And the other ones, we're going to make little yarn gnomes with yarn pom-poms and little tiny flower plant pots. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really simple. It might be really short. We'll see. Let's just get right into it. Okay, let's get right into this. So I've made these because I forgot to go buy some. So these are all UV resin. I used up the vast majority of my resin to make those. The silicone mat, I want it shiny side up, which is usually the bottom. I usually work on the matte surface, but today I want the shiny surface. Not that it's really going to matter in the end, because while I was hoping that the glue would stay clear, it's semi-transparent. No, we'll say semi-translucent, not transparent. You can't see through it, but light gets through it. So, you know, it won't be as nice as I was hoping. Is there a crystal clear hot glue? I should look into that. I bet there is somewhere. But this is simply just arrange the little gems the way you want to, and then use all of the hot glue. So much hot glue. So much hot glue. I feel that this cheap little thing couldn't keep up, couldn't stay hot enough. That could just be me though. I may have just been trying to use it too much too quickly. We'll never know. But I did like it. It was relaxing. It was fun. The thing that took the most time with this is just making the little UV cabochons. That took like an hour and a half. And of course I didn't record it because, But it's so simple. It's probably a relatively good craft for children. I wouldn't say very young children, obviously, because it is a hot glue gun. It is very hot and can burn you. But, you know, with parental supervision, should be fine. And I'll show them later, with light kind of behind them. Don't want to pick it up before it's cured or it'll just be a mess. But that was super simple and fun. And now for the little potted gnomes. I was so excited when I saw this yarn because it's just so super fluffy and wonderful, and I loved it, and it was so nice, and I figured it would be such a good gnome color. I bought it in gray and white because that's basically all they had left. I went to Michael's to buy yarn. I was going to try to get some from the Dollar Tree, but the one that I go to is closed for expansion. So that's exciting. It's going to be bigger when I go back. But there is a bit of a problem with this yarn though, and that is that it sheds. Once you cut an end, it has 2 very thin threads that wrap around each other, and all of the fluff is caught in those 2 threads. So I don't even think that torching every end is going to work for very long, because I didn't want to give each one of them a hard little spot, so I tried to torch it as minimally as possible. But, we'll see what happens. Now, I know I probably should have just used a couple of strands from the pom-pom to thread up through to make the hanger, but for whatever reason I decided to do it this way. Whatever. It's all good. It's all how you want to do it. I think they come out pretty cute in the end regardless. I should have bought some little wooden beads for noses. I don't like the pom-poms as well as the wooden beads would have looked, because they would have been more of a fleshy tone, more of a, a nose. But I think they're cute the way they are. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I think he's cute though. And I will not touch this yarn again. It's just so messy. But super pretty, so soft. I would love to have a blanket made from this yarn. Not a sweater, I don't do sweaters. Maybe a cardigan. Those are the button-up ones, right? I used to make yarn dolls as a teenager. I made so many yarn dolls. It was just something to do when bored. My grandmother had so much yarn that she had left behind when she passed, and I used a lot of it to make yarn dolls. I had the cutest yarn dolls. I might do it again. We'll see. Little worry dolls. Think they'd sell? Would you buy them? Let me know in the comments. Ha ha ha. So now this one, because the yarn is thinner, I put a couple pom-poms in there to bulk it up a little bit so I wouldn't shove the yarn all the way in. And then I forget to do that with the next two that I make. But you know what? They work out pretty well anyways. It doesn't matter. So much hot glue was used this day. So very, very much hot glue. I can't remember a time when I've used that much hot glue, because I'm not a hot glue fiend like a lot of crafters are. Some people seem to think that hot glue is the end-all be-all, use it for everything. I find it sticks to practically nothing, honestly. Okay, so I've already cut these. What I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take every single strand and separate it into its 4 component threads. Every single one of them. Something I used to spend hours doing when I was a kid. But because it's been 30 years since I've made a yarn doll, I kind of forgot how to separate them at first. But I get it pretty quickly again. The best way that I have found to do it is to separate it in half if there are 4 threads. Separate it 2 by 2 and then separate the 2 pairs so that they're individuals. You could also just separate it into halves. That way that the pairs make a more interesting curl. But I really like this mop. I think this color and that curliness reminds me so much of that Scottish Disney princess. What's her name? I've never seen her movie, so I have no idea what her name is. Here I'm trying to just comb it out just a little bit. That's a comb that I got with the ponies, the fairy unicorn squad ponies from Zuru. It worked pretty well. It would certainly work better than a regular comb, like a real comb. So much glue, and for some reason I took a really long time getting the glue in that one, so it had started to harden already. but I think it's alright. I think it'll stay. That one, I mean, the yarn is fairly light, so... But that one's going to be my favorite, probably because I spent the most effort on it. Still, a wooden bead would have worked a lot better there. And last but not least, the blonde. I think these came out really, really cute. And I think that the sun catchers came out really, really cute. Yeah. What do you guys think? What would you have done differently? Well, those came out pretty cute. So here's one of the sun catchers, and another sun catcher, and another sun catcher. And so I was dumb when I went to buy the yarn and stuff to the pots in order to make the little gnomes. I forgot to buy these little glass things. So these are actually all made of resin. I made those all out of resin. I basically used up what was left of my UV resin, which is good because it was getting old and, you know, it's always good to have new stuff. Anyways, so these little dudes are so flippin' cute. This guy was kind of obnoxious though, because his little threads, So, yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to keep an eye on. I'm gonna have to look at everything, every single little thread, and make sure that I've hit them all. I don't think it's gonna help it any though. I don't know. This guy is just gonna shed all over everything. I know it. And then we made a little brown-haired one, because there was no way I was gonna use that same yarn again. Just no. Luckily, I had bought some yarn to make yarn dolls. I had bought a bunch that were kind of flesh and hair colored, so they're not the gnomes that I wanted, but they're the gnomes that we got. Alright, and then the last one we made, and I know I'm skipping one, was the yellow one. She came out, I assume it's a she. Gnomes can be she's with beards. Anyways, so this is the little yellow one. The yellow one came out super cute. And then the red one. Oh, this one. I used to make all of my yarn dolls like this. You know, their bodies, I would leave their bodies like this, you know? Just regular yarn, but for the hair, unless I wanted it to be straight, in which case I'd leave it, or use like floss, I would unravel every single strand. So it really didn't take me all that long to do all these strands, maybe an hour. I don't know, I'll have to check the footage and how long it was recording, but this one is my favorite, of course, because it is the cutest one. Look at that. I like this one the best. So, tell me what you think. Let me know what you would have done differently, if you would have done anything differently. Recommend some crafts, you know. I'm always up for recommendations because I am a crafty person, not a creative person. I'm not good at coming up with stuff on my own, but I am pretty good at implementing ideas that other people have. So let me know what you think. What did you think of my gnomes? What did you think of my sun catchers, you know? How would you have done them differently? Like and subscribe, all that crap. So, we'll see you next week. Stay safe.